Australia is a continent of many moods. Nowhere in the country is this more evident than in the Northern Territory's top end. The area is governed by two seasons, the wet and the dry. In the wet, the monsoonal rains dump thousands of litres of water onto this area, transforming what was parched dry plains into lush tropical wetlands, providing a haven for animal and plant life as rich and as diverse as anywhere in the world. These vast wetlands are still largely intact, even after more than a century of permanent European settlement. Here, man and nature have learned to live together in harmony, and the fragile balance of the environment has been maintained. Wildlife refuge just south of Darwin, the Territory's capital, is home to most of the 275 bird species found in the top end, all attracted to the area by the permanent wetlands. More of the unique birds and animals which inhabit this northern paradise can be found in the Territory Wildlife Park at Berry Springs, 60 kilometres south of Darwin. Many of these natural springs flow all year long, creating tropical oases, even in the driest of dry seasons. The pools of crystal clear water that form amongst the attractive pockets of wet, monsoonal rainforest are a haven for the large variety of freshwater fish found in the Territory. Within a 2-hour drive from Darwin is Litchfield Park. Across the huge sandstone plateau which forms the tabletop range, water is scarce. and dry woodlands and forests predominate. Closer to the escarpment, springs give rise to creeks, which channel their way to the plateau surface. These creeks eventually find their way to the edge of the escarpment, where they descend as cascading falls into the rainforest valleys below, forming deep pools at their base. The lush rainforests on the edge of the escarpment stand out in vivid contrast to the dry woodland forests on the top plateau. Slow erosion and weathering of the escarpment over millions of years has given rise to dramatic sandstone outcrops. These huge, naturally sculptured pillars loom out of the surrounding vegetation like ancient ruins from a time now lost. The plant life of the top end consists of one of the richest yet least known floras in Australia. Many species are undescribed, and common names, for the most part, don't exist. Throughout the year, the landscape is covered in a profusion of wildflowers. Many naturalists and tourists alike are attracted to the area by the floral display. There are many unspoiled estuaries and waterways in the top end, most of them home to the Australian saltwater crocodile, the largest in the world. Some are more than 5 meters long. They usually nest during the wet season, and at this time the female is very territorial and aggressive towards intruders and will vigorously defend her nest. Some animals, however, are foreign to the territory's wildlife. Since its introduction over 100 years ago, the water buffalo, synonymous with the Northern Territory, has caused great damage to the floodplains and its surrounding areas. Their selective grazing and trampling of the native vegetation has eroded huge areas of the park. About 320 kilometres south from Darwin, nature has created more wonders with the landscape. The Katherine River, zigzagging along the fault lines of an 800-million-year-old sandstone plateau, has carved out the Katherine Gorge. The gorge consists of not one, but a series of 13 gorges, each distinctively different from the other. Along the water's edge, paperbarks and pandanus take advantage of every sandbank to throw down their roots. 39 fish species can be found here, providing a stable food supply for the freshwater crocodiles that inhabit the waters. In the moist crevices of the rock, ferns and figs eke out an existence. To the Aborigines who lived here, this was one of the most bountiful places in Australia. The walls of the gorge bear testament to their culture through the Dreamtime paintings. To the northwest of Katherine Gorge, the Edith River snakes its way across the southernmost reaches of the Arnhem Land Plateau. The river forms a series of waterfalls and rock ponds as it flows to the escarpment edge, finally plunging into a deep pool fringed by palms, pandanus, and towering rock walls. The warm, crystal-clear waters of the Mataranka Hot Springs are enclosed by forests of paperbarks and cabbage palms. In the later winter months, the palms around the springs are home to thousands of fruit bats. Not far from the hot springs, palms, shrubs and trees outline the course of the Roper River as it journeys to the Gulf of Carpentaria, 200 kilometres to the east. Small tributaries add many pockets of special beauty to this river. This small stream feeds Red Lily Lagoon, a huge area covered with thousands of lilies. There are many places in the Katherine area worthy of exploring, each one having its own unique beauty, each vastly different from the other. Australian natives, the Aborigines, named it KAKADU, the dreaming place, a sacredly held region where timelessness and spirituality begin. Aboriginal legends were born here and are now preserved in rock drawings dating back some 20,000 years. A pictorial record of their history and other aspects of Aboriginal occupation can be found at more than 6,000 rock sites in the National Park, which contains some of the best preserved rock art collections in the world. KAKADU is not only a repository of Aboriginal history and culture, but it's also the home to almost 300 Aborigines. These people have long established ancestral bonds with the land, which remain important in their everyday life. There is always something in flower in this northern sanctuary. A profusion of blossoms and greenery supplies the much-needed food for birds and insects. The endless variety of vegetation covering this immense 13,000 square kilometre park makes it one of the nation's richest and most diverse. In quiet backwaters, yellow and white snowflake lilies are widespread, forming one of the most spectacular floral displays within KAKADU National Park. And along creeks and in the margins of floodplains and billabongs, itchy trees often form dense, colourful thickets, especially when in blossom. A profusion of budding flora attracts many bird-life species, which sense the dawning of another spring. In fact, the whole of nature seems acutely aware of the stirring new growth which abounds throughout this recreative season. Flocks of bird varieties, including the jabiru and the brolga, are especially synonymous with Northern Territory wildlife. "50% of the wildlife park consists of woodlands and open forest. which provides the major habitat for numerous bird species within the region. Creek and streamside vegetation also provide important feeding grounds and a dry season refuge. Unlike any other national park, KAKADU's mood and appearance changes dramatically with each season. As the wet approaches, the parched earth waits in anticipation for the summer monsoonal rains, which will inevitably come. The floodplains that skirt the rivers and creeks turn into vast inland seas up to 20 kilometers wide. What were once trickling streams transform into raging torrents. Paperbark forests, regularly flooded in the wet, become lush, green and colourful with lilies, grasses and aquatic plants forming floating carpets across the landscape. Biologically, this is one of Australia's richest regions, a wilderness of diverse ecosystems. Yellow Water's Billabong, part of the South Alligator River system, encompasses all aspects of the park. The quiet waterways open up to the vast floodplains with a profusion of nesting birds and a variety of unique animals. Here is nature's handiwork at her very best. KAKADU, the dreaming place, is a living zoo that surpasses anything which man has designed. Now recognized worldwide with the inclusion of the park on the list of World Heritage Properties and the list of wetlands of international importance, the park, with proper management, will remain one of the last unspoilt primitive landscapes in the world. A land with its natural treasures for all to enjoy. A land where man and nature can exist side by side. A land where its many wonders are being discovered by more and more people. A land of nature's dreaming.
Come to a place that is free from the world. I'll take you there so you can find peace and harmony. As you look across the land and see its mighty splendor, you may hear the dreams of old as nature speaks out to you. Come with me to a land that is free, far away from all the cares of the world. A place you've always longed to be as you share in nature's dream. Come to a land where treasures abound. Here we find them all, in a place for us to enjoy, a dreaming place of timelessness where man and nature are found together as one, sharing in the call. Come with me to a land that is free, far away share in nature's dream. And as the birds of beauty fly through the sky above, the dreamer rises higher up, reaching out for us to come share the dream. Come to a world that I know you will enjoy. I'll take you there so you can hear nature speak out to you. Come with me to a land that is free, far away from all the cares of the world, to a place you've always longed to see as you share in nature's
Great Southern Light.
Discover the diverse beauty and spectacular landscape of Australia with the award-winning Australian Video Panorama series. The series presents a comprehensive picture of the Australian landscape, its flora and fauna, its majestic geological formations and their development over millions of years into the landforms of today. Each magnificent episode focuses on a different area of the continent's unique wilderness. Australia is portrayed as never before. The award-winning Australian Video Panorama series is a kaleidoscope of colour and sound, bringing to life a land filled with nature's treasures.